Today we're going to continue with the treasures of Jewish mysticism, the jewels of wisdom of Metatron. This is class number 4. We're going to start with some questions. Question number 1. We know that from previous classes that the tetragrammaton has a gematria of 26, but could you tell us about the real name of God with the gematria value of 22? We know that creation was made with the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. In reality, it's the power over the karma. The 22 letters, they represent the 10 sephirot and the 12 signs of the zodiac, which is 10 sephirot and 12 signs, which gives us 22. Within the 12 signs of the zodiac, there is a correspondence with, of course, the 12 planets of our solar system. What we mean is that this name directs us to how we are going to combine the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which are modes of energy that are used to raise the vibrational level very much above all those who seek purely power, purely physical power, or say, for instance, economic power. Here we are speaking about a heavenly power. We are at a much higher level, at a much more precious vibration, and it's a vibration that does not ask for something in return. We know that low vibrations are linked to all those who do, say, for instance, witchcraft, shamanism, and all this because they use vital life energy such as blood. It could also be semen, or it can be suffering. All this to feed energetic forces that are of a very low vibration, and that sooner or later they're going to betray you. However, the names of God, which are combinations of letters, this name of God with the letter value of 22, this vibration does not ask for anything in return or cause any betrayals. It needs neither blood nor semen nor suffering or making sacrifices for those terrible or weird things. This power is greater, much greater, and generates happiness to those who use it, and it takes them far beyond the economic power. Then there are two types of vibrations. Vibrations that are below the 22 and the vibrations that are above the 22. We're talking about a name of God of 22. But actually, the name, all it does, it gives you access to the Hebrew letter combinations. That is why our Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters. Then when Moshe Rabbeinu asked God, "What is your name?" and God responded, "My name is Ehyeh, Aleph Hey Yud Hey." This name has a value of 21. When Moses faced the Egyptians and proved that his science was greater than the witchcraft of the Egyptians, he used Yud Hey Vav Hey, the tetragrammaton. Now, if you grab the simple letters, non-repeated, of Ehyeh, and the simple letters of Yud Hey Vav Hey, and you only grab the ones that are not repeated. For example, if I say Ehyeh, it's Aleph Hey Yud Hey. Which is the one that is repeated? It's the Hey. So therefore, we're only going to get one Hey. If I say Yud Hey Vav Hey, which one's repeated? The Hey again. Then I'm going to create from those two names a name with letters that are not repeated, so that it is only one. This gives us Aleph Hey Vav Yud. I have grabbed the letter from Ehyeh, one of the letters of which they are not repeated, and a letter from Yud Hey Vav Hey, of which a letter that is not repeated. And this gives us Aleph Hey Vav Yud, which gives me access to the Hebrew alphabet that is 22, and the Aleph, He, Vav, Yud, which has a value of 22. It's not that it is the real name of God, but it is what gives us access to what we are doing with the Yehudim, which are the combinations of letters. It is not to do magic, it's to have access to those modes of divine thought. Question 2. In class 3 of the Jewels of the Wisdom of Metatron, you say that when we overcome Satan and his companion, they will overturn and do teshuvah. Then later you say that they cannot be defeated because they are energies. You also speak of the resurrection of Hanoch, which is Enoch, but you already commented that he did not go through the physical death. Can you elaborate more on these two concepts? Okay. To overcome energy is to change its polarity. We can call that teshuvah. That is to move from the desire to receive to the desire to give. That's called a teshuvah. That is to do a 180-degree turn from its origin, which is to take it from the aspect of receiving to the aspect of giving. To do this, you have to understand the principle of polarity, which embodies the truth that all manifested things have two sides, two aspects, two poles, a pair of opposites, with manifold degrees between the two extremes, to the effect that the difference between things seemingly diametrically opposed to each other is merely a matter of degree. It teaches that the pair of opposites may be reconciled. So therefore, if Satan thrives on low energy or low vibrations such as witchcraft, shamanism, and the vital life energies that we just talked about in the previous question, such as blood or suffering, to feed its energetic forces. If Satan needs this for its survival, then we can teach the Satan that it doesn't need these evils to survive. Then how do we overcome Satan? And how do we change its polarity? How do we do that? The mere fact that we are disseminating the secrets of heaven via this class or any other Kabbalah class, this changes, it transmutes humanity's low mental vibrations from low vibrations to high vibrations. Eventually, this will transform this world into a Gan Eden, which is a Garden of Eden, and turning humanity from a physicality-based society to a spiritual-based society, and thus removing the life force of Satan. The mere fact that we are vibrating higher, we are automatically changing Satan. In addition to changing of the poles of one's own mental state by the operation of the art of polarization, the phenomenon of mental influence in its manifold faces shows us that the principle may be extended so as to embrace the phenomena of the influence of one mind over that of another. When it is understood that mental induction is possible, that is, that mental states may be produced by induction from others, then we can readily see how a certain rate of vibration or polarization of a certain mental state may be communicated to another person, and his polarity in that class of mental state thus changed. It is along this principle that the Kabbalists say that thought travels, and that the studying of the secrets of heaven will even change your enemies. Satan's polarity will change automatically as we change ours. We can give him vital energy from a still higher world without the need for blood, nor semen, nor pain, nor sacrifices, nor wars. None of these are necessary. No crying, nor suffering. None of this is necessary. You can give it a superior energy, that is to give Satan a superior energy, and it will not be dependent on all that negative stuff we just talked about. So what can we do with Satan? We're going to give him a food that is not what he thinks he needs to survive. The secrets of heaven is that food. And the unheard secrets is that Satan must be able to hear this and learn from the names of God and be more than satisfied with this. No need to make humanity suffer anymore. Now, let's go ahead and answer the second part of the question in regards to the resurrection of Enoch. And we need to know that what we know as the resurrection of Enoch is the transformation of his body into soul energy. That is what we call resurrection. Without going through death, it is not death and resurfacing. It's to transform your body into soul energy. That is to pass from a slow vibration to a fast vibration. We know that everything that is matter, it vibrates slowly, and everything that is soul vibrates fast. If you can get your body to vibrate fast, you are in a resurrection. Now let's go ahead and start the class. When we talk about the angel in a singular form, it refers to the Creator, because the Creator is also known by an angel's name. The name is the angel of the covenant, which is the one that appears as a flame of fire, and although it's invisible, it makes itself known and manifests itself. Where the angel of the covenant appears, so does the Shekhinah appear. We have seen that the Shekhinah is the drop of semen, from which it's possible that a Siddiq can be born, as long as we use the correct kavanot during the conjugal relations during Shabbat. The angel of the covenant is the one who revealed to Abraham the birth of Isaac, and is the one who saves Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah. The angel of the covenant is also called the angel of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. How do we know from the three angels that appeared to Abraham Avinu that one was the Creator? Because the one that announced to Sarah that she was going to have a child when she was sterile, it could only be the Creator, because there is one thing that common angels cannot do. They cannot restore the fertility to a woman that is sterile. The Creator is the only one that has that power. And the one who announced to Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a son, it was the angel of the covenant. So this tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can come down to earth to announce something that only he can achieve. There's another angel, which is the angel of protection, which is one of the ways in which Metatron dresses himself. The angel of protection is the one that gives glory to the Shekhinah. Glory means that it gives honor to the Shekhinah. Honor to the Shekhinah is when one uses the conjugal relationship with purity. It generates in his circumstances the angel of protection called Michael. We have seen that the angel Michael is Mi Kamol El, which is he who is like God. This means that God associates himself with that conjugal relationship to attract superior souls, or to attract superior events into this world. So then, in the book of Enoch, it says that Metatron will be your guardian angel, and there he is associated with the ability to perform miracles and the ability to protect you. So as long as you link yourself to the Shekhinah, and when you take great care of not spilling your seed in vain, and when you use your seed for the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or that is to say on things that are pure, then it says that the guardian angel will be the enemy of your enemies and the adversary of your adversaries. If you want to see your enemies fall, take care of your berit. Take care of your circumcision. This is how your enemies fall. And if you want to see your enemies appear, then do all of the opposite. The angel that is connected to the name of God does the job of God and is the terrestrial replica that guides the man to their final destination. Who is the angel that is connected to the name of God and who was called the minor Yud-He Vav-He? It is Metatron. Metatron does God's business here on earth. It is the terrestrial replica of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and guides humanity until their final destiny. No other being, extraterrestrial or terrestrial being, can decide the final destiny of humanity. Only Metatron, by the order of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is clear, and we have known this for over 3,600 years. And what we call the angels are forms of manifestations of HaKadosh Baruch Hu here on earth. The Babylonian Talmud in Tractate Sanhedrin, the said angel is called Metatron. This is what the Talmud says, and it's so straightforward and so easy that is the Babylonian Talmud. Now, an angel does not substitute the Creator. Let's look at the functions of the angels. An angel is the spiritual guide of your soul. So now let's see. An angel is your partner who will save you from difficult situations. It is the one that is going to take care of you. It is your celestial ruler who will teach you to ascend. And it states that Metatron is called Yud-He Vav-He, just like the owner. I once asked my teacher of blessed memory, Yehiel, and I asked him if men have been created by extraterrestrials. And if man is a genetic creation, where are the people of Israel and where is their God? And he said, no, what we really are is that soul that God has inserted into man and that vital force. Only the Creator is the holder of the vital energy of the soul. Nothing or no one, no extraterrestrial or superterrestrial or angelic terrestrial being has in his hand the power to use souls. And when God gives that power to one man, that man is almost God. There has been Kabbalists who reached that level. In a distant past where wisdom was very high and they knew how to get a soul out of one place and put it into another. And when he told me that existed, it was mind-blowing. How can a man reach that level? Those are gifts from heaven, because when God gives, he gives it all. He gives everything. He can give you that power, but it is uniquely divine power, and Metatron has that power. Now, Metatron has 70 names, and in the book of Enoch, there are several that are given, and I'm going to give them up little by little and not all at once. And I will tell you what they're used for. One of the names is Yaoel. Another name is Tartiel. Another name is Michael. Another name is Bizbul. Another name is Zevul. Another name is Kimos. Another name is Meata. And another name is Kasbas Kebas. You have never heard these names except for Michael. These are so that you can see the things that are taught in the celestial schools. Above Metatron, there is Aleph He Vav Yud, which is the name of Ehwi, which is the one that we talked about earlier in the class. It's a combination of Yud He Vav He with Ehyeh, which is Aleph He Vav Yud, which has the value of 22. Ehyeh rules in the heavens, and Yud He Vav He rules on earth, and the combination of Aleph He Vav Yud rules in both worlds. This is how from earth you can change a person's karma. Now we will see Metatron's role in the history of humanity. Metatron was Abraham Avinu's spiritual guide. He was Isaac's angel that saved him from the hand of Abraham. He was the one that guided the people of Israel in the desert. He was the one that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. He was the one that guided Yeshua ben Nun in defeating Amalek. And he will be the one that leads the war, assisting the Mashiach in defeating Samael and Lilith. And Metatron is the one who defends the people of Israel, because we know that the spiritual guide of Israel is Michael, which is Metatron. In the Torah, in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, it is written that there is a river that is subdivided into 4 confluent rivers. And what this means is that Metatron is subdivided into Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Rafael. This is the river that was in the Garden of Eden, that was divided into 4 rivers that converged, and that is to say that Metatron transforms himself into Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Rafael. Michael to the right, Gabriel to the left, Uriel in the front, and Rafael to the rear. Michael is the one who brings goodness. Gabriel is the one who protects you from your enemies. Uriel is the one that shows you the path to ascension. Rafael is the one who heals you. Michael is light blue in color. Gabriel is dark green. Uriel is the color of the sun. And Rafael is violet in color. The angel Metatron is named by the 600,000 names of the angels that exist in creation. And we know that there are 600,000 souls of the people of Israel. And who are the 600,000 souls of the people of Israel? They are the reflection of the light of Metatron. God is reflected in Metatron, and Metatron is reflected in the souls of the 600,000 souls of Israel. Now be careful. We will say in Israel there are not 600,000 people there, more like 15 million people. So where are the 600,000 souls? Well, there are some who are real Jews, and there are the ones that are the Arev Rav, and we spoke about them in our last class. Metatron is identified with the celestial Adam. All of the archangels identify themselves with Metatron, and Metatron identifies himself with the superior intellect. Does anyone know what the superior intellect is? It is that super intellect that we had in the Garden of Eden, and that was reduced when we came into this world. But we have it dormant in us, and it allows us to connect with the superior worlds and with the superior intelligence. That is to say that we have an intellect, but above that intellect, there is a superior intellect, and this is the one that can connect with the superior worlds. The superior intellect we activated with meditations. And here it says that the Sefer Hanoch, which is the book of Enoch, that the sound of the shofar is heard on the other side of the curtain. That is to say that in the Kodesh HaKodeshim, which is the celestial temple, the sound of the shofar is a means of requesting help from the angels, for the sound may be heard by God far above the heavens on the other side of the curtain. That is to say, this is a way to summon Metatron. Now we have an angel that is an intermediary that gathers the sound of the shofar. He takes it to the superior worlds, and this intermediary angel is called Tartiel. And that sound of the shofar is received from Tartiel to Elianavi, the prophet Elijah. And he takes it to Yeshua bin Nun, who was the second in command under Moshe Rabbeinu. Then takes it to Metatron. And then Metatron takes it directly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who fills us with his mercy. This is what you call a relay race. Tartiel, Elianavi, Yeshua bin Nun, Metatron, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The sound of the shofar goes through this relay race. Tartiel, Elianavi, Yeshua bin Nun, Metatron, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when it arrives to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the gates of heaven open, and we are showered with mercy. We'll stop here and continue in class 5.